Hey everybody, Sean Woodland, Tommy Marquez outside the NOBULL 10 here on the campus of the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. We have wrapped up the final day of competition of the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Justin Medeiros for the men, Tia Toomey for the women. Let's break down our top 5 moments for the day, starting with number 5, Justin Medeiros passing Roman Krenikov on back 9 and really saying, yeah, it's over, this one's mine.
Yeah, it wasn't the moment that he technically won the championship in, but it felt like it. You know, every athlete used to have a Heisman moment in college football. This felt like that moment for Justin. Thought maybe Roman was going to pull away, maybe knock a few points off that spread between him and Justin, but Roman has to set the yoke down. Justin does the yoke unbroken, and an image we've seen play out time and time again. Justin really knows how to pour it on late and make a charge to make up some precious points.
Number 4, Mayhem dominates again on the final day.
You know, a record-setting performance for them as far as titles deserves a record-setting performance on the competition floor, and they got that in the final event. The final bar muscle-ups for Taylor Williamson, absolutely smoking them. She was paired up with Rich Froning for those final synchro movements. But you know what? They get 7 event wins in a row. They break the record from last year where they started with 6, did one better this year, and it's another title for CrossFit Mayhem Freedom and the second straight for Taylor Williamson and Andrea Nisler.
Number 3, Roman Krenikov was worth the wait. He wins the final heat of Jackie Pro, winds up on the podium. The first time we've seen him in person, he's got a medal around his neck.
He was going to need an epic performance to even have a chance at catching Justin, but he was still in a fight for one of those spots on the podium. You know what he does? He hops up to that final set of 30 bar muscle ups. He does 15 unbroken, really lifted up by the crowd. And even though he didn't get the event win, he got the heat win and put a little bit of pressure and showed everyone why we were excited to see him compete. He doesn't back down, he keeps charging, and as a result, he has a silver medal around his neck.
Number 2, Laurel Horvath was written off, I think, a couple days ago as far as the spot on the podium was concerned. She makes a huge charge on Sunday, winds up in 3rd place.
A testament to Laura, she never faulted. She comes out on the final day of competition. She wins back-to-back events, and on that second event in the yoke, she absolutely blew away the field. It almost felt like the finale in 2018 a couple years ago when she won that event to kind of cement her spot on the podium. And for her, it's 2 podiums in a row, the only female to do that in the Tia Toomey era.
And finally, speaking of Tia Toomey, she is number 1. Again, for the 6th straight year, the greatest of all time, going out on top, and she does it in style, taking her time in that final event, soaking it in, and she is done, and it has been an absolute pleasure to watch her compete since 2015.
It's always an honor to witness history, and we got to see that in that final event, the final few reps on the bar muscle up. Tia really soaking in the moment. Her family's in front of her. Her sisters are watching her win a title for the very first time. They hadn't been to the games yet. And just one of those moments that is going to be cemented in your brain going forward, watching an all-time great, the most dominant athlete of all time in our sport, go out with a huge bang.
Let's talk biggest surprises of the day. First, we had not 1 but 2 rookies of the year.
Normally the rookie of the year goes to the highest finishing rookie, male or female, but some of the performances this year, it required 2 of them. We had to double up on it. Emma Lawson gets it for the women, obviously being 17 years old and having a phenomenal weekend inside the top 10. And then Nick Matthew, he wasn't supposed to be here. He got to backfill invite. And you know what he does? He wins 2 events in the Coliseum. He finishes inside the top 15, and he made the most of his weekend. And it was deserving of making exception, or even maybe a new plan going forward in having 2 rookies of the year.
And then another surprise, and I don't know if it should be a surprise, but Sam Quant in 4th. Remember him, the guy who finished 2nd at the CrossFit Games a couple years ago? He's back, and he's inside the top 5 again.
I think a lot of people saw Sam's 2nd place finish a couple years ago and went, oh. And then they saw him not make the games last year and really was a shell of himself and went, oh, okay. But they didn't realize that he was sick, he wasn't himself, he was nowhere near the capacity that he was at the year before, and he was just trying to fight an uphill battle. Well, I think this year he proved exactly the capacity that he had, and that he's a perennial top 5 contender, and he finishes 4th overall, and I think justifies that medal that he got a couple years ago.
It was a fantastic CrossFit Games, a lot of memorable moments. I mean, you think back to the Capitol, Tia Toomey retiring, and then the sandbag ladder, just so many great images. Thanks to NOBULL for taking great care of us this entire week, and thanks for you guys for checking this out. Head over to our podcast when we get that published, wherever you find your podcast. I will have a further breakdown as to why I mentioned on national television that Tia Toomey was retiring. I had permission, but I just want to tell the story about how that all went down. Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of each other, be better, and we'll see you next year in Madison.